Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So it's time for another hashtag EFR Wednesday Wisdom, and today I'm going to be sharing a topic with you that actually simply fell into my lap because a friend of mine recently asked me this question, and it happened to be linked, or rather I'm going to go ahead and link it to a post that I posted on Instagram by a lady by the name of Muriel Marie, and it goes as follows: if you really want to catch your dreams, you're going to have to chase them. And the question that my friend actually asked me was about how do you stay motivated on this journey of becoming, on this journey of setting goals, achieving them, and really actually going for what you want. So I really love this post. It's so cool. It's a play of words. It creates such a nice picture in your mind of chasing your dreams and how you're gonna have to catch them, just like anything else that you would have to be chasing. We obviously played this game as children, and it was the funnest thing when you actually caught what you were chasing, and I think dreams are no different, right? So I jotted down a couple of things. I think they're so interesting to me. It's so relevant on a journey of entrepreneurship, of pursuing something that you have really had on your heart for a long time. Is a dream. It's a dream, and you have to chase it and make it happen. And it is honestly a long and hard journey. You're going to face many brick walls, but it's something that is so worthwhile. It was laid on your heart, and this question of motivation is such an appropriate one. I actually thanked her in the end because I was like, I felt like I was talking to myself. I felt like I was preaching. I hope I didn't come across as preachy, but it felt like I was reminding myself as well, because it's something that I've been challenged with, of course, had to be intentional about, had to grapple and fight with, to overcome, and I think everyone experiences that. So it's definitely something that I want to share with you. Ways to keep motivated to achieving your goal. So I shared with her a bunch of pictures that I had saved, even just on my Instagram, that I save daily, that I look through daily, that help me and motivate me to keep going. And that's actually the first point that I came up with for her, was that surround yourself with motivation. Surround yourself with the motivation that you are already looking for. So I follow certain pages, I look for that positivity, I look for that motivation, and by the same token I unfollow anything that doesn't motivate me, that doesn't bring that positivity that I look forward to, that I really need in order to get things done. I also said, you know, part of that is not just your social media, the people in your life. Do you have a stimulating environment that inspires you, that makes you want to work, that has basic, I mean, no matter where you live in the world, there are basic things that can help you be more productive in your environment, no matter where you are in the world. And that could be simple things like sunlight. Surround yourself with your favorite things. You know, I have my vision board in front of me, for instance. I have my own pretty little desk that I have put things together there that I like to look at. I like to be surrounded by flowers, lots of light, and that helps me. Simple things like that, where I create an environment for me to be inspired and motivated and excited to work. So that brings me to my next point, is visualizing. So I have always been really good at visualizing. As a child, I've had a wild imagination. My grade 1 teacher once told my mom at parents' evening that your child is such a dreamer. She's always looking out of the window, she's always dreaming, thinking up things. So for me, who's a visual person, I love to visualize. I feel like I am almost constantly living in the future, in my future state, for the woman I want to be, for the kinds of things I want to be doing. Almost sometimes to a fault, to the point where I like miss, okay, you know, what are the little steps that I need to get done? My husband always says, when I get excited about sharing ideas with him, which I have no lack of, he's like, okay, that sounds like step 500. What about step number 1? Okay, so how do we break it down? So as I said, I keep a vision board as a visual reminder of where I'm going, and I remind myself why I want to go there, why I'm starting this journey, and why it's so important, you know. And usually these things are linked to your purpose. Once you know your purpose, you can start with where you're going and why it's so important to you and why you're starting on this journey. I also made a video about knowing your purpose. I'm not going to get into that now. I'm going to just link it down below for you guys. My next point is kind of intertwined with a couple of things, but stay with me. I will then annotate my points as they come to me. So one of the things that help you get motivated is when you get things done. So if you are a list person, create a list. Make sure that you can tick off things and see that progress. And if you haven't seen that much progress in a day, in a week, in a month to reach your goals, perhaps your list is too long, perhaps it isn't, perhaps you misjudged how long it would take you to do something or how easy something was. We all do that. Don't be so hard on yourself. You know, take it one step at a time. Keep acting out in faith. Keep going for it. Keep taking one step at a time. And very importantly, focus on what you can control. So many times we get overwhelmed and we then lose our motivation because we feel like the task is too big, and oftentimes we've made the task too big because we haven't broken it down into manageable pieces. You know that saying of how do you eat an elephant? Piece by piece. So it's the same thing with your goals and your dreams and achieving them. Try and always have that yardstick of measuring, like, okay, where was I going? What plan did I have? What goal? Then take little steps to do it, whether it's always look for that next step or that next opportunity that will bring you closer to it. Always look for that your next thing that you can do that will bring you one step closer to what you need. And don't ever say you've tried everything until you really have tried everything. So what I mean by focus on the things you can control. There's another cool post I found on Instagram. Things you can control: your attitude, your network, your physique, your work ethic, your habits, and your words. And that's why it's so important to control your thoughts, so important to control what comes in, to focus on programming your mind and conditioning your mind to see opportunities. My last point to that is the way to all of these things that ties it all nicely together is actually gratitude. Practice as a science of honing in on gratitude, which is again looking at what you already have, working with what you already have, and then creating almost abundance out of that. Because how can you be given more if you're not grateful for what you already have, right? And I love the biblical principle of the talents and how God looks at what everyone did with what they were given, and how each one had to explain and account for what they were given. And I think gratitude shifts that whole thing of what we tend to do in this world, is comparing ourselves. Comparison is the thief of joy. My friend Jewel always used to say, comparison is the thief of joy. And so if you look at what you already have and can be grateful for that, you can manifest more out of what you already have because you are grateful. And there's a whole lot more that you can go into that, but it's honestly become part of my daily ritual. I don't like the word ritual, but it's part of my daily devotion, my daily, you know, meditation, is gratitude, and to focus on what I already have and how grateful I am for it, and then I can look to more. Because when you look at what you have, you see so much more. When you look more closely at what you have and you start to count your blessings, you maybe start to lose count because they're so abundant. And I think it shifts your perspective. It makes you see even more when you're looking at what you already have. And so I think it's such an important principle. It's really simple. So I really hope that this helped you today and inspired and motivated you and especially encouraged you. Let me know what else you would like to hear in Wednesday Wisdom. I love talking about these things. As I said, I felt oftentimes like I was talking to myself. It's something that is so imminent and so important and something that we all face no matter what stage of life we are. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for listening to 7 ways to keep motivated and achieve your goal. Bye.